Hey, what's up, internet? What's up, everyone? Um, this is gonna be one of the videos in my drug and alcohol series. I'm doing, and this one is about the misuse of certain drugs in our society, as the United States, as Western, America. Um, yeah. So there's hopefully you already watched my disclaimer video. It's 2 minutes. It just talks about that. The number one rule is sobriety is always the best choice. But if you're gonna have drug and alcohol in your life, if you're gonna have drugs or alcohol, if you're gonna have drugs in your life, or you have someone in your life that is affected by drugs, then hopefully some of my videos can help with your understanding, because understanding a problem can lead to a solution so much more than trying to fight the problem or kill the problem. So this video is more like kind of a fun video. It's kind of like just an informational, enlightenment type of video, and it's about the misuse of different drugs in our society. So, I I I mean, we use coffee in the morning. That's pretty dead on why we do that. But one of the ones that I really don't get that we do, as I can only speak for at least the United States, is alcohol at bars, because alcohol is a very strong depressant. It was illegal at one point. I'm guessing it causes thousands of deaths a year, whether it was an alcohol-related shooting or an alcohol-related car crash or an alcohol-related fight or an alcohol. And its effects are deadly, are extreme and deadly. It's not a weak drug, and it's not, and it can be, you can die from withdrawing from it, and you can die from overdosing on it. You can't say that about every drug. A lot of drugs, certain drugs, it's really hard to even overdose on. So, what's funny about alcohol is if you drink at night to go to bed, or you're the type of drinker who maybe drinks every night, I can understand that. That's the main time I drink, is if I choose to drink. It's usually at night once everything's accomplished. I don't have anything to do, and hopefully I can control myself and go to bed. That's the main goal. But what really doesn't make sense is that you can have fun if you want to use drugs to have fun. The first step is not having a tolerance and being sober. If you're already using drugs or high or drunk or intoxicated in some way, and you're trying to use another drug to you're going into a slippery slope right off the bat. So if you're trying to have an experience like going out to the bar and have fun, then you should at least have a day or two of sobriety where you're focused and clear-minded, and you can actually enjoy the experience and be thankful for it and not use it in a bad way. So, um, so we use alcohol to go to the bar. Usually there's there's usually sex is in mind, right? Or some type of social event. So, stimulants, okay, I'm trying to put this as quickly as possible. So, when we go to a bar, a person either wants to have a good time socially, or maybe have a one night stand, or meet a new booty call. Better to be honest. Or maybe even meet a mate, a potential husband or wife. Okay? So, in order to enhance the experience of going to do any of those things, nice Camaro build that just drove by, I think that's fourth gen, or third gen, no, fourth gen, F body. In order to enhance the experience of going out and either having sex or meeting a mate or doing something social, we choose alcohol as Americans. This is very interesting to me. First off, alcohol is a depressant. Usually if a person is depressed in public, they are outcasted, or they are bringing down everyone else, or they are, usually it's not a very good mix. It inhibits our judgment. So why would we be going out to have possibly unprotected sex or random sex or meet a possible husband or wife? Why would we want impaired judgment for that? And also, it can cause you to black out. So if you're actually going out to have a good time, then you might not even remember it. And I think the main attraction of alcohol is that it impairs your judgment so much that you express yourself freely. But the problem with that is, if you don't obsess over healthy things normally, if you don't bring your thoughts captive to Christ, you might express unhealthy things that haunt you normally, which is what can happen. Because people say you're drunk and the truth comes out. It's more like you're drunk and your truth comes out. And if your truth is delusional, or if your truth is not correct, you put yourself at risk for hurting people's feelings. Anyways, that's why I drink and go to bed. So how does it make sense that we want to impair our motor skills, impair our judgment, depress ourselves, possibly black out, but go have a good time, have sex, and meet a mate, and be looking out for red flags in this mate, whether it's STDs with random sex or red flags with the husband or wife? None of the side effects of alcohol coincide with what we want. It's like we are obsessed. It's like we've been tricked as a society into thinking that those initial side effects of getting high or getting drunk is alcohol. That's not the case. That's just our minds being altered. That's just the endorphins in our mind. So I'm kind of like it's more food for thought. If people still want to go, I mean, it's food for thought. And on the counterbalance of that, we have marijuana, and we're going to say caffeine and Adderall. Adderall is a manageable stimulant unless you abuse it. But if used properly, it would be an enjoyable thing to take a dose of Adderall. However, just like you take a dose of alcohol or THC and go out to a social event. So, and not to mention, you're still out in social. Who wants to be out driving drunk or be risking drunk in public or risking drunk fights? So if you're sober and you want to go out and have a good time and be yourself and be confident and meet people and have sex and do all that stuff, and you have either alcohol or marijuana and caffeine, or marijuana and an energy drink, or marijuana and Adderall, if there was a more acceptable way to congest Adderall, so be it. But so both of them, if you're sober, you don't drink coffee for a couple days, you don't drink anything, you don't do any drugs, you don't smoke any weed. If you're sober, if you're going out to have a good time and you decide you want to use drugs or alcohol to enhance it, you're going to get that initial endorphin and pleasure just from the change. It doesn't have to be alcohol. That's just the most common and most accessible. So next comes on the different effects and different side effects of the drugs. And this is my understanding and my studying. So that's why people get high off of downers, off of stimulants, off of heroin, off of meth, off of weed, off of alcohol. They all get that initial lift or rise or enjoyment. But then to carry it into a blackout with lack of motor skills, lack of judgment, lack of memory, all that stuff, to the point where you could kill someone and expect us to go have a good time, that makes no sense. That sounds like a trick from the devil. But to take a drug like marijuana, which is a psychedelic, so it pleads to whatever your mind is currently hosting or currently cultivating it, and also with a stimulant like Adderall or caffeine, which makes you confident. It makes you regard your suspicions higher. It makes you more social. So you're gonna get that initial good time, but then instead of putting yourself into oblivion of lost money and lost resources and lost memories, you're gonna go into a enjoyable, slightly psychedelic, overly stimulated social experience where you're more likely to walk away from it thinking, whoa, did I talk too much? And probably learn about yourself. And so I'm like I said, I'm trying to do this between 10 and 15 minutes. So this will at least be the the main at least the first part of the misuse of roles of drugs in our Western society. And that isn't like a attack on anyone who still likes to go out drinking, or who disagrees and still feels like bars, drinking with meeting people is a fun thing. Alcohol to me took away the value of sex. To me the best sex is sober. But if to do it drunk, it completely disconnects my my sex drive in my mind. And when my sex drive and my mind get disconnected, that's where you have sexual problems, and that's no fun for anyone, for the man or the woman. And that's why I try to stay out of my imagination. And imagination is a dangerous thing with sex, because if you get lost in imagination, you can lose your sex drive. So it doesn't make much sense to use alcohol. But anyone who disagrees or has any comments or any additions or anything, please add a comment. Please, say something on some type of social media. Other than that, be safe. Have a good time. Try it sober. Try it normal first, and then if you really want to go out and have a good time, just think about what you're actually doing. And if you're a drinker and you watch my video and it just made you frustrated and made you want to go out and go to a bar and drink, just try for once. Have some coffee at the bar, smoke some weed, and then go home and drink and listen to music and go to bed, or drink and watch TV and go to bed. Just try it.